If you're an early career researcher, you want to write papers and you're probably aiming to get promoted to a permanent position, tenure track. And for that, really, you need to be able to write, I'd say at least 3 high impact papers every single year. But at the same time, if you're an early career researcher, then you're probably likely struggling with things like time management. And you may be finding yourself that in order to write those papers, you have to work evenings, you have to work at the weekends, you have less and less time for your friends, for your family, for your hobbies, right? You might find it difficult to focus on your writing, and you're being pulled into different directions and you're distracted by all these different commitments that you have to do, right? And maybe you're also struggling with really being able to express and structure your research ideas logically and be able to do that with ease so that you can really cut down your writing time from several months to several weeks. If these are some of the things that you're struggling things and some of the goals that you have, and you really want to be able to write more than 3 papers every single year, then listen to the rest of this video, because I'm going to show you my step-by-step plan for the next 7 weeks that I have implemented successfully for myself and for my clients, that will allow you to write your next research paper in 42 days or less, and will really set you up for writing 3 or more papers over the next 12 months. So in this video, I wanted to introduce you to my step-by-step process for writing 3 or more research papers every year, that I will also be sharing with you in more detail and teaching you starting in the second half of July this year. So this program is called Research Paper Mastery, and it will show you how to write 3 or more high impact papers each year so that you can get better academic positions, increase your salary, and become an authority in your field while actually working less and feeling happier, feeling more confident and more relaxed. So this is the first program that I'm releasing in 2 years, and this program really is for early career researchers and postdocs. So if you're just about to finish your PhD, or you already finished and you're in a postdoc position, you're looking for research positions, you probably need to and want to climb the academic career ladder, right? One of your goals is probably to get a permanent position in university, and you're probably aiming at some point to get tenure as well. And with all that comes an increase in salary, right? And if this is you, in my experience, a lot of people like that, early career researchers, they're basically struggling with a couple of main things. So one of the really important things that people struggle with, that I've noticed, is finding the focus to write. And correct me if I'm wrong, but usually what happens is that there are so many responsibilities that you have now as an early career researcher, and you don't really have, these deadlines from your PhD anymore, that it's really difficult to find the time to actually do some focused writing. And it's really difficult to manage your time well between, lab work, between helping your own master's or PhD students, doing all the research. Maybe you're doing some teaching as well and stuff like this. And that's a very important struggle that a lot of people have. And, there is less guidance as well when you move to early career research positions, right? When you were a PhD student, you had your supervisor, maybe you had a co-supervisor or several co-supervisors, there were regular meetings and stuff like this. Now you're even more on your own, right? So you have to figure out how to do things. And you're also probably struggling a little bit with expressing and structuring your research ideas appropriately, so that you can, also write faster, At the moment, maybe it's taking you even several months to complete one paper. But at that pace, you know, you will be quickly outwritten by many of your colleagues. And if you want to write 3 or more research papers every single year, then you need to also figure out how to be able to express your ideas, structure them appropriately, much faster and with greater ease. So Research Paper Mastery is a 7-week program that will help you, first of all, to write your next high impact paper in 42 days or less, right? So in the first 6 weeks of the program, you will write your next high impact research paper. You will have it reviewed personally by me, and you will have submitted it to a journal, all in 42 days or less. But beyond that, you know, you will also learn how to plan and manage your time well, so that you can become much more productive, and, you know, you no longer have to work evenings or weekends or stuff like this, but, you know, you'll be able to strike a much better work-life balance and just have a more normal schedule, 9 to 5, and still be able to achieve loads. And, you know, this program will also help you to write at least 3, but hopefully more research papers in the next 12 months, right? And I'll show you how to identify high impact research topic no one else in your field can see. And this will be really, really powerful, because it will give you a lot of high impact ideas for your following papers, so that your research pipeline is full for the next 12 months, and you can really focus on getting the experiments done and writing those papers. And this will really be, you know, I will show you something that, you know, it's so powerful, and I've been using it myself, that you will really find topics that you yourself will be surprised that how come nobody else has investigated this, and you'll be able to fill those research gaps with papers for really, you know, months and years to come, right? And I'll also show you how to develop a daily writing routine that will really reduce your writing time from months to weeks. You know, and what I found is that very often we can achieve the same amount of work, or even more, in just an hour or an hour and a half of focused work than, you know, somebody else would achieve in a whole day or 2 days of work. And this will be our goal, and I'll show you exactly how to do that. We'll also talk about choosing the right journal so that you can maximize your chances of publication. So we'll dive deep into the mechanics of choosing your paper, so that you know, choosing your journal, so that you know exactly, you know, where you should submit it, what's the procedure, and you tick all the boxes, so that, you know, the chances of it being accepted are much, much higher. And, you know, another thing is also telling a coherent story throughout, right? That's something that I hear from early career researchers all the time. How do I tell a story? How do I make ideas flow better in the paper? So you're going to learn exactly how to do that on the program as well. And as I mentioned, you know, we'll be aiming for also maintaining a good work-life balance, because of course, you know, you can write 3 or maybe even 5 papers a year and work 80-hour week and have no life whatsoever. But that's not the point. Then your life is just miserable, right? What we want to achieve is that you are able to write, you know, 3 or more papers every single year, but at the same time, you know, never work at the weekends, never work in the evenings, have time for your family, your friends, your kids, your better half, enjoy your hobbies, and just have, you know, a nice, relaxed life, basically, right? And, you know, you will, on this program, you will learn how to write an experimental paper. I'll show you how to write a systematic review, and or a theoretical paper, right? So we'll have all the bases covered. So what does the program look like, and what is the game plan for, you know, for really writing 3 or more papers every single year? So this is, you know, this is the plan that I have followed in the last couple of years since graduating from my PhD, and this has really allowed me to publish 2 or 3 papers every single year. Even though I've never had a research position, I've always worked as a university lecturer, where my main job was just teaching. So really research wasn't part of my full-time job. And now, you know, I have Academic English Now, which is a full-time business. And I am still, despite this, I'm still able to write 3 papers every year, right? And this is not some kind of theoretical nonsense that I read about somewhere in the book. These are really tried and tested strategies that work, right? So what are we going to do? Well, in the first week of the program, we're going to sow the seeds for your success. So I'll show you first of all how to find high impact research topics so that you have a pipeline for at least 3, but ideally 5 papers for the next 12 months. And then we're going to look at the anatomy of a high impact research paper. So you're going to learn how to maintain coherent flow, how to tell a story in your paper, and how to use academic language appropriately so you can drastically cut down your writing time. And then very importantly, I'm also going to show you how to set goals and plan. Because what I've noticed is that a lot of people don't plan, and then they are surprised that they haven't written any papers and that they haven't written a single word in the last 3 weeks. But I mean, if you don't have a plan, then you never achieve your goals. You'll just continue failing. So that's why, at the end of week 1, you're going to come out with a clear plan for the next 12 months that will allow you to write 3 or more papers that year, right? And then before we start writing, very importantly, I want to look at productivity, because one of the big things that early career researchers struggle with is productivity really, and time management and focus, because there are all these other things going on and all these other responsibilities that you have to take care of, like lab work, helping your students, and so on, right? So I will show you here, really the most high level things that I've learned myself about productivity and that have allowed me to become super productive, And when you put these into practice, you'll be ahead of the game, right? You will be so productive that other people will be asking you, like, how do you do that? How are you able to, to write so much and you never stay at work after 5:30? You never work at the weekends. How do you do this, right? And you'll know exactly how to do that. So, you'll learn how to do more with less, and rather than add more things to your plate, we're going to subtract things and eliminate the things that are nonsense and useless. And we're going to focus on the essential things. And I'll show you how to achieve laser-like focus as well, and how to really, focus on one key thing and be able to do it effectively, right? And we're also going to really talk about some next level stuff here when it comes to habits and discipline, right? Because really, being successful in anything is not so much about talent or incredible skills. It's really about developing self-discipline. And this is something that I struggled for a very long time, and I think a lot of people struggle with it, to maintain focus and discipline for long periods of time. And I'll show you exactly how to do that. And then, we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of writing. And in week 3, I'll show you exactly how to write an excellent introduction to your next paper. And after this week, you will really come out with the entire introduction written and reviewed personally by me, right? And then in week 4, you will write the materials and methods. So you're going to learn, how to structure things there and how to really present everything appropriately. And I'll show you how to do that in an experimental paper, but then also how to do this if you're writing a systematic review or a meta-analysis. And, by the end of week 3, you will really have half of your paper ready, and, you'll be highly productive at that stage and effective, and you'll be managing your time very, very well. Then in week 5, we're going to show you how to present the results of your study and how to discuss them appropriately so that, you can highlight the contribution of your study as well. And I'll show you how to do that while telling a coherent story throughout this section. And this is going to work for an experimental paper, but I'll also show you how to present the results in a systematic review or a meta-analysis paper. And then finally, in week 6, we're going to conclude your first research paper. So, you're going to write out the conclusion, and I'll show you exactly how to write a very powerful conclusion that highlights the contribution of your study and, increases the chances of your paper being published. And then we're going to choose the right journal and get your paper ready for submission, and you'll submit it, right? And then once it's been approved by the editors and the reviewers' comments come in, I'll also show you how to respond to those comments so that, your paper is really ready for publication. So at the end of week 6, your paper will be submitted to your journal of choice, really. That's what you're going to achieve in the next 42 days, right? But beyond that, in the last week of the program, what you're also going to learn is how to present your papers at conference. Because really, if you want to build your profile, you need to go out there and present effectively. And, I've been to really dozens and dozens of conferences, and I've seen so many talks that are so bad that, I don't want you to be that person who gets up on the stage and is eaten up by his or her nerves, or is, presents so badly that basically, people are yawning in the audience. So you're really going to learn how to master presentations and how to do this very well. And I'll show you as well how to promote your work beyond academia, so that you can really become an authority in your field. You can broaden your network of contacts, and this will further help you to get research grants, get funding, get connected with the industry, and so on. We'll also talk about maintaining a full research pipeline long term and how to do this. And finally, we're going to look at some next level stuff about, how to really systematize your life and how to become the number one go-to person in your field, right? So that's what you're going to learn over 7 weeks of research paper mastery. How does the program work? Well, it will give you the guidance and the skills and the mentorship that you need to achieve this transformation and be able to write, one paper in the next 42 days and then 3 papers over 12 months. So you will have access to an online course with 7 weeks of video training with clear step-by-step instruction and templates, right? And worksheets. So what I want to emphasize here is it's not one of those theoretical courses. If you're that kind of person who just likes to just consume information but doesn't like taking action, then this program isn't for you. This program is for people who want to take action immediately and who want to put information into practice and start writing the paper, right? That's the first part. Now, you also have access to coaching. So there'll be 2 collaborative group coaching calls every week, right? So 2 calls once a week. And, if you've been on my program, PhD Accelerator, you know that the calls there are more sort of Q&A style. You ask me a question, I'll answer it, and so on. And here we're going to aim more for a mastermind where, you'll be able to collaborate with other early career researchers to solve your problems faster and get to your goals faster. So there'll be a lot of collaboration going on. And then, you also get weekly feedback on your writing that will help you to improve, the structure, the content, and the language, help you to tell a coherent story so that in the end you can become a fully independent and confident academic writer who never needs to pay for proofreading services in the future. And then you will also get 2 one-to-one accountability meetings during the 12-month period, so that we can evaluate your progress and we can keep you motivated and keep you accountable, because a lot of the problems stem from the fact that people don't have self-discipline, and after a couple of weeks their enthusiasm just kind of dissipates, and then it's difficult to maintain it. So that's why through the weekly collaborative calls, through the private community, but also through the one-to-one accountability, we'll keep you accountable. We'll keep you motivated to ensure that, in the next 12 months, you're able to write 3 papers or more. And how long are you going to have access to this program? Well, you can get 1 year access to it. So you'll get full support for 12 months. And then, if you decide that it's working for you, then we can talk about renewing your subscription for the following year so that you can get continued support. But initially you will get access for 12 months, and our goal is to take you to 3 or more papers in those 12 months, right? So at this stage you might be wondering, well, how can I join this program? Well, Research Paper Mastery launches on July the 20th, which is also my birthday. And initially, for the first group of people, there will only be 15 spots available, right? And, if there are 16 people, then the 16th will have to go on the waiting list and wait until we open the program. Again, I'm really looking for, a small group of really motivated and dedicated early career researchers who want to take their research writing to the next level and who are really committed to, to being able to write 3 or more papers every single year. If you're the kind of person, then you should definitely take a look at the calendar here, right? And schedule a call with me or one of the members of my team, right? And you can select the date and then select the time that suits you best. It should be shown in your local time zone, but please make sure that it is the time and the place where you currently are based. And you can click continue. There'll be a couple of questions for you to complete, right? And once you've completed all of those questions, you'll be able to book a call. And then on the call, we'll talk further about, your specific needs and what you want to achieve to see if this program is a good fit for you. And then if it is, then we'll talk further about how you can join. But if you do want to join, then I'd recommend you book this call as soon as possible, because there are really only 15 spots available. And I really mean that. There won't be any more spots, and this will fill in very, very quickly, right? So, currently, if you're watching this video because you received one of my emails, there are 20,000 people on this mailing list. There are, I think at the moment, 12,000 people on the YouTube channel. So as soon as I post this video, there'll be a lot of people applying for this program. So I wouldn't want you to miss one of those 15 spots, right? So that's Research Paper Mastery, and this is really your step-by-step plan to writing 3 or more high-impact research papers a year, so that you can get better academic positions, increase your salary, and really become the authority in your field, while at the same time having an amazing work-life balance, feeling confident, relaxed, and happy. And if you want to join, then book a call with me or the member of my team, and we'll get back to you and we'll speak to you personally.